Hey, Matt, if you were made of cheese, would you eat yourself? Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd go see a movie, and then afterwards we talk about the movie from Matt's car in the parking lot with our gut reactions. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and yes, welcome to this episode where we are going to be giving our gut reactions to the movie called Downhill. This is a movie starring Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and they're married. It's set on a family ski trip. They're on a ski trip with their two kids in Austria. There's a lot of skiing in this movie. There's a lot of big mountain shots in this movie. But really, the heart of the movie is it's kind of a relationship drama between the two of them. It's not really a comedy, although there are some somewhat
A
funny
dark comedy,
parts.
maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I thought I saw that it was supposed to be a dark comedy, or people said it was a dark comedy. I
Gotcha.
don't know.
Well, I would say it's more of a relationship drama than any kind of comedy, really. When you get Will Ferrell in it, I think you're always going to see some
Sure.
comedic moments. That's just kind of him. But anyway, so the setup for the relationship issue here is that they're sitting outside a restaurant and there's like a controlled avalanche that comes. The snow comes almost well, it does come onto where they are, although not in a like burying you way, more in like a hey, it snowed on us kind of way. But Will Ferrell took that moment to run away from his family because he was scared, and they stayed there. And so that was kind of a point of conflict between the Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character and Will Ferrell's character. And so they sort of go through the movie and trying to work that out.
Sure.
So what'd you think, Todd?
Well, first, I feel like I have to explain my opening, which was Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey from SNL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one.
I was reaching pretty far. I just didn't know how to open it. So I went with the Will Ferrell impression of him doing Harry Carey. So
It's all good.
we'll see what the audience thinks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start strongly with my statements and say I'm not a fan of this movie. I didn't really like it. It's falls into a category of movies that I'm not a big fan of, which is awkward situations, and we just want to make you feel awkward, and we want to make you cringe and stuff like that. And we either do cringeful moments to make you laugh instead of earning a laugh, or we just doing cringeful moments and that's just it. So I am not a fan of those kind of movies, and this falls, like, I think pretty smack dab into one of those movies. So they're just not for me. When you break it down further than that, I mean, some of the acting's fine. It's not. I didn't think there was any bad acting or anything like that. It's just I just found myself not caring about this story. I have a friend who uses a line for most movies that fall into this category, and some others, which is white people, white problems. And I kind of feel like this falls under that. And it's not just that. I mean, I'm a white person with white problems, and there's parts of the drama of this movie that you just can't relate to. I mean, like, I can relate to relationship issues, but I can't relate to... Well, first of all, I can't relate to a super expensive ski trip, like, in the Alps. I've just never been there, never been a part of it. I don't like skiing. So I was already kind of checked out for that. But it's like, it's just, everything in this movie is like so over the top awkward that it's just hard to feel like this is a real thing. I mean, maybe people have gone through this kind of experience before, but it feels so very fabricated and so very forced. So I don't know, Matt, if you've ever run away from an avalanche and left your family. It's just and I know this is a remake of a foreign film, I think. So maybe this thing happened. I mean, maybe this is something that happens in Austria,
Yeah.
and it's a common thing. But I don't know. I just really felt like I was not really checked in. I didn't really care. Um, I, and this might be like completely wrong of me or whatever, but it just felt like every character in this movie is selfish, and I thought Will Ferrell's selfish. I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus is selfish at times. I thought the friend of Will Ferrell's is very selfish. I thought the girlfriend of Will Ferrell's friend is very, like, everyone seemed just a very selfish person in this movie. There's like a little kind of resolution near the end, and I mean, maybe there's a little bit of unselfishness that happens then, but I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. There's not many good things I can say about this movie. It had really good shots of the Alps and snowing and stuff like that, but so yeah, it just wasn't for me. Some people dig this kind of movie, and I hope they enjoy it, but if you're gonna ask me, in my opinion, should anyone see this movie, I think it's a passable movie, and that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, I think you hit on something when you brought up sort of this contrived situation. Yes, I know that sometimes contrived situations bring up underlying like relational issues, and that's a thing that can happen. And so maybe that's what they were going for, and they really wanted to highlight sort of the relationship part of it. And it seemed like that's how they laid out the movie. But what happened after that falls into my rule of sitcoms, which is if everyone just tells the truth, everything is
Sure.
going to be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not how sitcoms work, and that's not how this movie worked. This movie had people holding on to things that weren't the truth, and it led to problems. And people not being honest, and it led to problems. So I felt like it was very sitcom-y in that way, but yet without the comedy part.
Yeah.
It was like not a situation comedy. It was like a situation drama.
Yeah.
Drama was brought on by the situations that the characters put themselves in and the poor decisions that they made. So it felt long. It felt draggy. There were nice pictures of mountains and snow, and that's cool. And if you like skiing, you might want to watch people skiing, I guess. But overall, I thought the movie was kind of a drag, and like Todd, I would say no, this is a pass. It's not really very compelling, although the acting was fine, and I think the story is where it really falls short.
Yeah.
And the kind of contrived situations that they put themselves in, and the stupid decisions that the characters make.
Well, it's and like even the serious situations are even played more awkwardly. Like, and I just don't like that. If it's a serious situation, play it like a serious situation or something like that. Don't just like fill it with awkwardness to either force a laugh or whatever they were trying to do. It kind of felt like they were trying to force laughs, and why I feel like people would label it somewhat of a dark comedy. But that stuff's just not, it's not for me. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everyone. We live in a free world, so you can feel however you want to feel, but that kind of stuff is dumb to me. If you want to laugh from me, you got to earn it.
Fair.
Not force it.
Fair enough.
So, well, how many, I guess the obvious one to go with is how many avalanches would you give this movie?
Yeah. So with 5 avalanches being the best, I'm going to give this like a 1.5 avalanches. It's kind of a chore to get through this movie, and I didn't really like where we ended up at the end, and I didn't really like the journey that we went on to get there. There wasn't a lot that I did like, but that's where I end up.
I think we have a first for Matt and Todd Go to the Movies. I don't think we've ever landed on the same rating number.
I don't think
But
that we
when I
have
asked
either.
you the question, I was like, here's mine in my head, and it was 1.5.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm of the same way. There's just not many good things to say about this movie. I mean, it's just the acting is fine. I didn't think anyone really like hit a home run here or anything like that. And there's fine shots of the Alps. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's fine to say that just the movie is not good. So that's where I'm landing.
Okay. Well, that wraps up this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed Downhill, and we came up with the same ratings. So the average is also the same.
Nice.
1.5 avalanches out of 5. We say, meh, probably don't see this one.
It almost feels like we have a better podcast when it's a worse movie and I'm angry about it than if it's just like, this is not good, who cares?
Yeah.
There's just not much to say about it. It's not
When we have the inner conflict and fire,
yeah,
that's when our best podcast episodes come out.
Yeah.
But
strong opinions come out, and this one's just like, well, it's not that good.
Yep. So, well, thanks for listening. We'll try and have more strong opinions next time on our podcast, and keep on listening.
Da 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 da.
Do, do, do.
Da da da.
Da, da, da.